This is my Stratoliner. If you have a Roadliner or Stratoliner or a Raider and this is all fogged up, zoom into here, you know what I'm talking about, you'll know it. But this whole thing gets fogged up and I actually couldn't see my tachometer, I couldn't see the fuel gauge. What you'll need is a 5mm Allen hook tool like this with a straight edge and a hook and a little tiny pry bar, maybe a little Windex too. The first step is to take these off. So you're going to unscrew this one. There's one on this side and you'll want to turn the handlebars so you can access it. And then one more on the other side. Here's the third one. Don't be like me and scratch your paint. If you don't want to scratch your paint, then make sure you grab a towel or a couple of them. There's a rubber grommet that runs along the edge of both these sides, and that's awesome, except it stops at the most important part, which is sharp as a razor, right here and on the other side. You can kind of see that maybe. See how that rubber stops? It's like a razor. I'm about to cut this side, so just toss a rag over there and let this drape over. You grab your hook tool and you have to remove these three connectors, and they are terrible to take off. Now this fourth one you don't have to remove. Yeah, one on the left. So you do need to take this one off. So I'm going to do that now. Press in and push down at the same time. Can you see?
No. Okay.
Alright, so this black one, press down on this little tab right here and with your finger at the same time, and it should pull out. I added dielectric grease in here, just FYI, it helps it come out easier next time. This white one is next. Press down, push in that little slot. The little slot you can push in, that's a little tip to help it come out easier. And then the final one is this one right here, and this one's tough too. Press, there we go, and that's going to slide, so catch that. Here's the fun stuff. Grab this, grab a Phillips screwdriver. I got a drill just to make it quicker, of course. So there's a bunch of these little ones you're going to take out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take those 6 screws out, then put them on here, and like I was telling my wife, you set them on the seat, that way they can fall off and into the dirt as soon as you touch the bike, because that's how it works. You do not need to take these off unless you want to make your job way harder. Don't take these 2 screws out with the wiring harness or that one, just leave that attached. You do want to get these 3 big screws though, okay? So 1, 2, and then there's one at the bottom right here. So I'm going to take those out. Finger into there we go. 2 and 3. Now that all of those are out, you're actually going to remove these two, I believe. I think you only need to have these 2 out. I'm pretty sure the third one can stay. Let me check. So next you're going to grab these grommets. These rubber grommets go all the way through both sides and hold them together, and we need to open it up. So just grab it, pull them out. See that? 2 of those, and then you lose it just like that. Yep, perfect. I lost it on the ground. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I think this will come out. Yep, so mine came out like this. Just open it up. And I'm not going to actually do all this. I'm just going to show you what I did. So I took this little pry tool and very carefully I pried up all around this perimeter. And it was a booger. It did not want to come off. But with enough prying, if you're really careful, it won't snap it and it'll come loose. And then both of those double pane, both of those pieces of glass like this are surrounded by a mole, I believe is what it's called, which is basically just a piece of rubber that keeps those like a millimeter apart. So I peeled that off around the whole perimeter, took that whole thing out and split those 2 pieces of glass and set the rubber grommet off to the side, the rubber mole. Cleaned them both with Windex, nice and clean. You probably have some water damage or buildup from all the water that's been set in here. Get them nice and clean. And then I put them back together and put that rubber piece back in. And then I poked holes in the whole perimeter. See, what happens is over time that rubber degrades and it makes these little tiny microfractures that lets water in, but then it swells up and heats up throughout the day and it traps the moisture inside, and that's our problem. So poke a bunch of little holes in it all throughout the perimeter. And can water get in? Probably. But did it fix my issue? Yes. So it needs to breathe. It needs to come in and out. And then I took a little bit of super glue and just put this trim piece back in and glued it down, and problem solved. So now I'm going to clean it again, but basically just put it back in order. I do want to tell you one more thing, and I'll show you that in a second after I clean this. Now we're going to put this back on very carefully. Boom, that's on. Flip it over. Then we're going to take our little rubber grommets and push those back in all the way through to the other side so it sticks out on the other side. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. One through here. And again, make sure it's coming through. Look at that. Give it a couple flicks. That's good. And then this little zip tie has a hole in it from the factory, so we want to keep that up top. Line up the holes. These two metal grommets, whatever you want to call them, are going to go right there. I'm going to put these 3 big screws back in place. You should only use hand tools. Don't use a drill. I don't care. As long as you're careful, you should be fine. Just snug. Then put all these other little screws back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one goes right through that zip tie into the top piece. I don't know if you can see this. It's probably a shadow, but it goes right through there. I'm just going to tighten these down. Now that that's all back together, we're going to reattach it. Need my towel over here again so I don't scratch it. Put this back on, and then connect these back to their respective homes. So that one's going to go right there, and the black to the black, and the white to the white. This one actually came disconnected from the bike, so I'm going to reconnect that. Boom. And this one as well. There's a little hole in the bike that will snap into. So I've got those back on. Now that it's all lined up, all you have to do is put these back in place. So I like to start with it really light. Do not over tighten right here when you're putting this back on. Just get it started. So just barely, not even tight, just barely on there. Now you have to kind of move this. See how that's moving around? You got to kind of fiddle with it a little bit to line up the hole. And there's the hole. See how I had to move it around? You're going to have to use 2 hands, so I'm going to do that. There we go. Now that that one's lined up, the other one should be pretty easy. Tighten those up. And since that one and the back one are in place, this one should kind of line itself up, but you may have to kind of wiggle it around a little bit like I'm doing here. There we go. Now it lines up. See, you don't want to cross thread. Really easy to cross thread those right there. So just tighten them up. Freaking mosquitoes.
No joke.
Just snug. They're aluminum. I'm going to do that to all 3 of these. 1, 2. Snug them up. Boom. And take your glass cleaner. I wouldn't spray on there if at all possible. Don't spray directly on there because moisture can get in, but I'm going to spray on a rag and clean it up. And then, once it's all buffed out, good as new. Let me know if that helped. Like and subscribe. Good luck. Look at that.